Hi everybody, this is Pramita here, and this is going to be a kind of collage with me video with all sorts of scraps that I have in my scrap bin, you can say, or scrap box. And if you want to hang along, then follow this process because it's going to be very simple, and I'm just going to put on some music probably and just do a little bit of voiceover. It depends, and I'll just go on with the process. So if you want to watch videos of different kinds, not only collaging, I also do a lot of tips and tricks sort of videos whereby I'll show you my process of putting together journals and junk journals and journals, of course, personal journals. So if you want to hang along, then please subscribe to my channel and support my tiny journey. So thank you for watching. Hang along, I'll start the collaging. So this is my personal journal TN. I love to use a traveler's notebook. I had always been a fan of traveler's notebook for as long as I remember because this is a system which suits me, and whenever I finish a journal I can always put it somewhere for safekeeping, and then I can move on with another journal. So this is a journal card I had made a while back, and I'm just keeping it over here just as a form of reminder how far I have come. So this is actually a journal catch-all sort of thing where I put all the weekly memorable ideas, and I usually do a collage on the right-hand page. So this is another card I had laminated way back, and I just want to keep that as a reminder. So this is a blank insert, as I had talked about, and I've used a lot of scraps from different shops, and this is also a pocket that I've made with scraps, and this paper is from my shop. So this is the journal that I'm talking about, and this I have constructed out of some very thick copy paper. So I think it's 80 pound or 120 GSM. It is pretty good enough to take watercolor, and this is how much I have progressed. I think I have done pretty well considering how busy this time had been, but I am just managing. But honestly, I feel this size has worked for me because I tried getting back to journaling, but I could not. Again, I'm falling in love with this standard size DN because I find that this is my size. I cannot be happy with any other sizes. So long story short, what I've done to the pages is I have added watercolors as backdrops. And if you're using things like this, then make sure that your paper is thick enough or sturdy enough to take watercolors, because otherwise it's going to be, some the textures will come off from the paper, and it will start, bubbling up sort of thing. So that's that. And here I have a small, tiny basket full of scraps. I had been working on some projects, and these are the scraps that I generally generate, because bigger scraps I use up somehow or the other, and these are some journal cards that I'd made way back. So I'm going to keep these also in my, in my journal setup. And I also have some, random stuff that I can use. So I'm going to keep those also. So I'm just stucking these things in my traveler's notebook. So if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, then please do. And if you want to watch more collage with me and journal with me sort of videos along with journal shares, then I would love to do that and share my personal journey into journaling. Because I started off this way, and then I moved on to making junk journals for others. And I also use junk journals. It's not that I only make junk journals. I will also share my personal junk journal. But I find that I'm more happy working in these kind of journals. But I do have some junk journals that I work on, but that's not regularly. Sometimes when I feel like I need to write in them or I need to do something on them, I generally do that. If you want, I can share my junk journals also. But these are basically my writing collage journals. I do a little bit of collage and then I do plenty of writing. So I will also show you how you can add tip-ins, extra pages. So I have taken off the the cover, so you can pretty well see it actually doesn't have a cover. It just wraps around that craft folder that I have. And now I'm going to be adding some stenciling. Now I have been getting a lot of questions about how I stencil. Yes, I do have a specific method and I will talk about that if you watch this. So what I do is I basically choose what I want and then I will, load the brush up with distress ink. And this is incidentally vintage photo distress oxide, but you don't have to have that. So the first time I put down my brush on the page, I press it pretty hard. And then as I move around, I tend to, ease the pressure so that it has the kind of blending effect. So you can see how it has been darker on this side, and then as I moved away, it became lighter and lighter. So this is a technique I follow. It might not be of your choice, but I love this technique and I'm pretty happy with the way it works for me. So I'm going to be doing some sort of stenciling on the other side of the page also, but before that I need to fix something. I'll just put in a paper behind that, and so that it doesn't mess up with the next page. So I'm going to use the same technique, put the the maximum pressure on the first go and then ease out the pressure as you move along. So this will give you a blended kind of look I usually aspire for. So look how pretty they already have been looking. So I'm pretty happy with the way things are looking right now, but I need to add something else. So now I'm going to show you how I stamp on the backgrounds. This is one of my favorite stamps and I love the size because it's pretty handy dandy. You can hold it in your hands and just stamp away. So I don't want too much. I just want a little bit of a hint, you can say. So I'm just adding some script background. So that's that. And I bought this way back, I don't even remember exactly, but it was pretty cheap. It is from a local Indian company, and I do have a few stamps of theirs, and I'm pretty happy with the quality of the stamps. And I don't use it on a stamp block, as you can see, because I use it for background. So I use it in this fashion, and that is easier for me to handle. So now I have basically put down, I know there's a weird shadow because of the basket full of scraps. I'm sorry about that, guys, but I should have realized that before. Anyways, so now I'm going to start gluing down. So one thing I do is I put down a first paper, the first page paper that I want on the page. I glue it down and then I work around it, because I have seen if I fuss around too much, then I can never get to decide, what I want and how I want things to be, etc., etc. So I usually put down the base paper first, and that helps me decide on the tone of the page, basically what kind of collage I want or what I want on the page. So that helps me, sort of veer my interest, sort of in a certain way. So look how blended it looks, because the background is somewhat very cohesive with the background that I had created with watercolors, but that was totally unintentional. I did not think about that. It just happened. And this scrap happened to be lying around. So I'm going through some of my scraps. So this is going to be a tedious process if you feel bored that I don't know, but I try and do it pretty quickly, but let's see what happens. So I'm just trying to ink everything down because that is a dark colored paper, and I don't want that white edge to show through on the dark paper. So I'm just inking this, but I usually do not do inking on all the scraps that I'm using. So so I'm not going to use the entire part. I'm just going to use a little bit. And these are some decoupage papers. If you don't want your journals to bulk up, then you can obviously use these decoupage papers. They are excellent for keeping your journals flat, and I have used them before and they have served the purpose. So I'm pretty happy with the decoupage papers instead of cardstock, because cardstock will inevitably bulk up my journal and I don't want that bulk right away. So that's one of the reasons why I like to use decoupage papers. They are thicker than tissue papers, but they are also thinner than cardstock. So these are some collage sheets that I have in my shop. These are blank masterboard neutral kind of papers, and I'm just digging into the stash and trying to find out a coupon sort of thing I had. Unfortunately, I can't seem to find that. It's somewhere hidden, so I need to make another box for smaller scraps. So, or maybe I'm going to move the bigger scraps away. But this is all I have, when I'm working on a journal. I usually try to use up all my scraps as the best to my ability, because scraps give birth to scraps. And I know you people will agree to this, and because I have seen how much hard I try, I cannot totally say that I've been successful in do away with scraps. So I have not been able to do that, but it's a constant battle. I keep on trying, because since I do a lot of collage, I use up a lot of scraps, so that way it works for me. So I've tried to manage that. So I'm going to see, okay, so this is a label that I'm using. This is from Tracy Fox, and somehow when I was trying to move some papers and all, this got torn up, so I cannot use this in any other journal. So I decided to use it in my own anyways, but it doesn't look nice with that brownish kind of label that I have. So I'm going to use this tiny one. So this tiny one, I just need to snip off the edges and ink them up a little bit. So this label is from a shop which is called Pink Monarch Prints, if I'm not mistaken. She has quite a few good stuff in her shop. You can check her shop out. So this is from Pink Monarch Prints, and rest of the scraps are from here and there. So this is a sticker that I have, and I want to use this floral bunch. So let me glue all these down and then we'll add the sticker. So I'm just going to glue them down, and so if anybody is interested in watching these kind of processes, then of course please comment, like and share. That would mean the world to me, because as I said before, YouTube has a very weird kind of algorithm, because if you do not like or comment or even subscribe, my videos will not be pushed into your feed. So even though if you're watching this as a random or first time go and have not subscribed to my channel, then of course you will not be getting any kind of notification. And not only subscribe, there are 3 types of subscriptions. If you press the bell icon with the ringing bell icon, then only you will get all the notifications whenever I upload. Otherwise, it's not going to send you all notifications. So this is the smallest page that I'm going to be working on, and on the left hand page, I'm not going to do anything else, because I'm going to keep that open after I journal. I might put in some stuff, to cover up the empty spaces, because empty spaces bug me in my personal journal. I want to have that filled out look. And this is just a scrap. As I said, this is a masterboard that I have in my there are two masterboards that I have in my shop, and I'll probably be coming out with a few more masterboards, so watch out for that. Some with botanical elements, and they're going to be big ones. So I will be coming out with that, hopefully. So here is the scrap that I want, and you must have noticed that I have not inked up the edges. I don't ink up the edges in my personal journal always. Sometimes when I feel that there is the necessity, I'll do that. Otherwise, I try and keep that blended look because that's what I like. And now you'll be bored to death because I'm digging into some pouches that I have in my stash, and which I have not opened at all for a long period of time, and I need to find out what I have in those pouches. I just keep on throwing stuff that I feel that I could use. So this is a vellum butterfly. I can use that, I presume. And this is another piece of a washi tape that I have, some vellum pages, sticker pages, so you can just stare and use them in your collages. But probably I'm not going to use anything like that, or probably I will, I'm not sure. So if you want to see how I do my journal collages or finished journal look, then I'll definitely do a flip once I finish about 10 to 15 days. Otherwise it would not mean anything. Of course, I'm going to be doing more collage with me videos, so keep watching for that, because I have been getting a lot of requests on my posts to show how I do these collages. Honestly, there is no magic involved, as you can see. It's just the placement of things and a few personal preferences. So here I have a stash of stuff that I was not even aware of, and so somewhere I'm going to use them. So let's see what I want. So I want this butterfly because I think it looks nice with the color scheme that it is in, and I'm also going to add a flower. So I'm just looking through, and I have this, so I'm going to put it like this. Both are vellum stickers, so I don't have to use glue for anything, and I'm going to use them. So I'm just taking off the backing and laying them down. You don't need to use too many things or buy too many things. It's just that use what you have and keep your eyes open. You can find lots of stuff, lying around, which you can use in your collages, which I often do. I'll show you. Sometimes what I do is, even when my husband's, office notes, he takes, meetings and stuff like that, and he doesn't need them anymore. He has these handwritten notes, and he throws them away. So I'm horrified. Like, you can't throw things away. So what I did was, and I will show you the results. What I did was I coffee dyed those pages, and they came out beautifully. And I've baked them, of course, but I'll show them in my next video, perhaps when I do a collage with me in a few days' time, and you will see how it looks. So here I'm using a sticker. This is from a Simple Story sticker book. I love to use phrase stickers and phrases, but this needs a little bit of glue because it is eons old. I don't know. Eons ago I had bought this, and then it was lying in that pouch. So take it one day at a time. Yeah, so that's what I need to remind myself every day. So this is how it's looking, and I think it has come out pretty well. So I will show you the finished once I finish around 15 to 20 days. I'll share the update. So I will probably use this one also, but right now it doesn't seem I need this, so I'll use it after I've journaled a little bit, so you'll see how it looks. So here are the finished pages. So bye everybody.